I think it's like when you're an artist, when you play music, there isn't the perfect performance. There is always a little mistake here or there. It's something you could have done different or better. There isn't this perfect session. It doesn't exist. People know what they need to do to achieve their goals. I can't tell anyone what they need to do. So I see myself really only as a facilitator in that role of guiding. You need to be so present to do that.
Yeah.
Knowing when to interfere.
Yeah.
And when to let things just go the way they're going. And it's a struggle, like for all of us. You're not alone with the struggle. If we want to really try something, change the way we are, or change the way we approach something, the attitude, the mindset.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen like this.
Yeah.
It's like a daily effort. It's a daily struggle, and acknowledging that it's not easy to oneself. Being okay with it, and also being okay with that there are bad days.
Hey guys, welcome to this episode of the Mindful L podcast, a space for slow and honest conversation. And in today's episode, we are going together with Sebastian explore the topic of coaching, kind of from inside. What does it feel like to be a coach? How the sessions and workshops are created? Why it is important for coaches to work on themselves, and also what is presence? What is the concept of presence? And how it's important in different areas of our lives. Let's get into the episode. So welcome, Sebastian, to the podcast, and I'm happy to have you here, and I'm curious to explore together this topic of coaching, how it feels to be a coach, how the workshops are created, and all things like that. Welcome.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm glad to be here. A little bit nervous, but we see where it goes.
So we can start with the question. Maybe you can tell a little bit about yourself and how you came into the coaching world.
Oh, it's not an easy question, but to start the beginning, I studied physics, then material science, started working as an R&D engineer, and I didn't study it because of conviction or because I was so interested. I studied natural sciences because it was what I thought would be a good thing to do for my professional career. Back then, as a 18-year-old, I didn't really know what I exactly wanted in life, and I wasn't so aware what I like or what I would like to work with. So I thought it was a good idea, and I don't regret it, but it was a bit... Eventually I figured out that, first of all, many problems in working life that I encountered, they had nothing to do with the technology part or the science part. It was people not understanding each other, it was misunderstandings, it was different aims, misalignment, everyone trying to look after their own stuff and not to the bigger picture. And I got to a degree fascinated also more by this kind of challenges, and also by what holds us back doing that, what holds us back from collaborating, how can we collaborate better. And for whatever reason, I ended up finding that much more fascinating, and so that kind of step by step made me gravitate towards this world of facilitation, coaching, workshops, collaboration, first as a job. So I went from being an engineer to this role of agile coach internally in the corporate, where I did a lot of workshops, a bit of teaching, and really we worked on with different teams in the company, not only with engineers anymore, but also opened my world a bit that there are other views as well, not just the way engineers look at things. And that somehow, opened a whole new world for me. And now, since moving to Sweden a year ago, now it's really like I see my future in that world, and not so much anymore in working as an engineer. That brought me into this whole world, kind of, and also the fascination that I don't know, people are, and working with people is also much more rewarding for me. Like I used to work on a topic, doing research, but I really struggled with that I didn't know what is it that I'm working for. Like, yes, maybe it will become a product once, maybe it will lead to something, maybe not, but I lacked this, I don't know, sense of purpose in what I was doing. And now working with people is much more, I don't know, it makes much more sense for me to it's more rewarding. You have that, I just have the feeling maybe I can really contribute something. Like I can help someone, whether it's in coaching in their professional person, I can help a team working together better. I can help someone doing what they like without having to getting frustrated by, running in circles all the time. So it feels much more, this type of work I think just resonates much more with me on a personal level.
And how do you work? So you work with individuals and with teams. And how do you decide basically which team needs what, which tool?
So up to now, I would say 95% of my experience in that whole area is with teams, and very little yet with individuals. I just started on that, trying to get more into the coaching side of things, less on facilitation for teams, more in looking into coaching. And I think it's something I definitely want to look more in the future. But for working with teams, essentially it doesn't matter with teams and with persons. It boils down to listening and trying to understand what it is where is the friction, like where in the process, where in the what does not work. So, and it also is like, if I come into a team and then we need to talk about, okay, what do they want? What do they want to do? Do they want to develop a strategy? Do they want to develop their team? Do they want to kick off a project? Usually, there is some business case or some reason why there is a need for help developing a plan for a project. But then it's also in kind of listening to what is needed, where do we want to go? But not only talking with, and also in the workshops, it's not only about the leaders or the bosses, it's then also getting the feeling for the whole group, and also trying to help them understand each other. So help the leadership understand what the team can do, wants to do, where this team sees struggles, but also help the team understand that the leadership has a reason for why they want to push in that direction, and that, so getting this mutual understanding from all sides. Also, when working with different teams in my past, that there was more from engineering development context, where I came from. We always had this feeling, like when I was still an engineer, like, yeah, no one understands us, and people don't listen to us, and everyone thinks everything's so easy. And later, when I started working with other teams, then I heard engineers are so skeptical. It's so hard to work with engineers. They are so complicated. They always get lost in details. And I understand both sides, and both sides have a point. And like most teams and people I worked with, it was barely ever the case that people really didn't want to do the right thing. Just the path to achieving the goal looked different from here than it looked from there. And then bringing those perspectives together, bringing those people to understand each other by, first listening myself, and then helping them to listen to each other.
And how do you do that? So first you, I don't know, have separate meetings with each team and with managers, and then you grab them all together, or how do you work?
It depends very much on with whom I'm working and what's really needed. So there's this, like, it's never the same. I try to usually talk to not only one person beforehand. So sometimes you don't get that opportunity. Sometimes you only talk with the boss, or with the person hiring you, or with the person who wants to work with you. then it's a bit more tricky. Then you need to kind of come up with a plan on how to involve the others. And but I try to at least get a couple of different views on the topic beforehand. And then a workshop with a team, it always follows, well, a certain framework or a certain, so no two workshops are the same, but there's always a kind of a red thread running through. So we want to collect information, we want to maybe create solutions, we want to also choose something as a team, and then ideally we want to commit to do something. And the idea is always to get all the opinions in the room on the table. So so I'm not going in and presenting a solution. The solution is in the team. People know what they need to do to achieve their goals. I can't tell anyone what they need to do because they are the experts, not me. So I see myself really only as a facilitator in that role of guiding, like giving a framework for them to have to talk about it. So that includes now if you go concrete exercises like brainstorming, brain writing, moderated discussions. There are lots of tools, like concrete tools you can use, but eventually the idea is always to get everyone to be able to share their side of the story, and then to create a shared understanding of the problem and also of the way forward. It doesn't mean that always everyone has to agree. It's usually
is it actually how difficult or easy it is to find this agreement to make people listen to each other?
That depends a lot on the team, on the culture. Like I've on the course, on what it's about and how personally involved things are. So in my, like, over the years that I've been doing that in corporate and also now freelancing, I've kind of seen everything from can't get like so much sentiment in the room and so much like history and old conflicts that you just even talking about it openly is already problematic, to super smooth sessions where everyone was like, okay, let's get this done and let's see all the options and then kind of decide on how to go forward. So it is a very wide range of things that one comes across in that sense. So it's no two times are the same usually.
And how do you understand that your work with the team is done, basically, that they achieved what they wanted?
That is very difficult. And it's one of the things that maybe is a bit the downside of doing that work, because I can only go in, or maybe I'm hired for a 2-day workshop or a 1-day workshop, or we have a 3-hour workshop. That depends on what you want to do. So I can only go in and create the room, hold the space, make this space for having an open discussion, for really looking at things from every angle, for developing solutions together, for deciding on something together. But I don't really have an influence on whether that on the next day people really start doing that, or whether on the next day it goes back to business as usual. I don't hope it goes back to business as usual, but I have effectively no influence. And if I do my work well and get people to understand each other, they will hopefully work differently. But there is nothing, like if I'm not asked in again, that is not something that I can actually do. So I try to provide the room, the framework, hold the space for the discussions that are necessary to have all those conversations, make the decisions. But whether it's then done or not is not in my hands.
Yeah.
Same with coaching. Like if I coach someone one-on-one and professional development, for example, I can help you reflect. I can ask you open questions to think about where you are, where you want to be, how to get there. But whether then tomorrow you actually act on it or not, this is very much up to you. And for a team, it's the same. Then they tomorrow act on it.
Yeah, it's very curious how it's the same basically in personal work, or like if it's a coaching or therapy with one person, it's it's not the therapist, not the coach who takes the action. And the same, it's for me, it's interesting that you can kind of extrapolate it to the team level, and it's also you facilitate the workshop, you give them tools, you provide them like a space, you hold a space for them, but the action itself, it's on them.
Yeah.
It's important, I guess, to understand this responsibility for people.
I think it's the difference you have when you like, if I am in the company, like if I'm employed to do that, internal, or if I'm a team lead, for example, who applies facilitative leadership within the team and tries to do, then you can monitor the process, then you can continuously work like that. I think my job as someone coming from the outside is more to, how to say, open eyes sometimes and to make people reflect and think about it. And of course also, I always see myself more as a practitioner than an educator. I like more to do the work than to teach you to talk about it. But to a certain degree, of course, educating is always part of it. And hopefully if I do it well, then a team sees that this way of working makes sense and that it helps them to create also to grow as a team, to have that space where you can be open to each other and to learn those tools and techniques you can use that promote that. And in that sense, of course, there is an educational element, and hopefully, I mean, I know that I did my job very well if I made myself kind of not needed anymore. If I'm not needed anymore, if the team can do it all by themselves, that would actually be kind of the best thing I could achieve in that sense. But I think for me, facilitation and coaching, it is very closely related. It's not the same thing in a sense, but it's a lot about listening, holding the space, asking questions, giving a room, and not about giving advice, about giving my opinion. It's not about my opinion. I only hold that place.
And how does it feel for you to hold this place, the space, basically?
It's very, it's very interesting because, I mean, now it sounds like holding a space, it sounds like doing nothing. If you talk to someone outside who is not so much in that field, it sounds like, I mean, what are you actually doing? It's like I'm just there and I create the schedule, create the agenda, think about the exercises we're going to do and explain them. And then basically I'm just, there and try to tie it all together. But I find it actually extremely exhausting is the right word the wrong word because it's negative. It is not like exhausting in a negative way, but it's actually quite, it requires a lot of energy. Like it really needs, you need to be so present to do that. Feel the room, feel the people, see also how are they responding to what I intended to do with them. Is it like, do I need to change what I wanted to do? Is it going the right direction? Are we going off track? Sometimes when one has a discussion that is it's one of the most difficult things for me is you have a structured discussion and then people start to go a bit off track. But still I get the feeling that, it's really good that we have this discussion now and people talk with each other respectfully and they really hear each other, and I feel like it's really good they are having this discussion. It's really good for them. But on the other hand, we are going slightly away from the topic, from the goal of the session. I mean, every workshop, every meeting, every session has a goal. You want to achieve an outcome. We're not sitting together for fun. It's still business after all. And that's a very hard thing, is like to judge this, like, should I let them have this, continue this conversation, continue this discussion, because they're really open and it's really like valuable, or should I like now interfere and try to get them back to the topic? So this knowing when to interfere, and when to let things just go the way they're going. I find this one of the most challenging things, and it requires a lot of presence and a lot of it's actually it is a tiring work in a way, but it's a very rewarding work also. So it's
how would you describe this feeling of presence inside of you? How you like understand that you are present, that you hold this space, and that, for example, the workshop discussion goes the way it needs, or like, I guess it's very subtle sensations, but I would like you to try at least to explain how it is for you.
It's very subtle, and is one of the reasons why I absolutely prefer in-person work over online work, because online it's really hard to sense that, but it is more that, I say, if you stand in a room, you look at the people, you look at the body language, you really listen to what is said. Maybe if things are unclear, paraphrase it, or ask, did I understand this correctly? Did you mean that? But it's like, when do I have the feeling that I'm actually like present or in the room is when, this is really hard to explain.
Is it more like a body sensation, or it's I don't know, what is it?
It's a bit like, I don't know, that I think it's talked a lot about this concept of, in sports or anything, is being in the zone. Like you kind of lose a bit your track of time, you lose a bit your track of, and for that is also I lose the urge to share my own opinion. Like if I really feel like I'm just like a sponge, kind of sucking it all up, I don't have the urge to now jump in and give my opinion or give advice, or when I manage to overcome this thing and be really just there to hold the place and actually let the people do the work. So in the workshop, it's not me doing the work, it's them doing the work. So I just create a framework and a process for it. And like, it's hard to describe, but it's really like having this feeling that, yes, now it runs. I don't feel like I need to jump in. I don't feel like I need to.
But you still like, always like focused on them.
Yeah. It's hard sometimes, because on one of the jobs as a facilitator is to keep track of time and keep track of the goal. If you're facilitating well, you end the session on time. It's kind of one of the more or less golden rules. It's also like you don't go over time for an hour or two or whatever. If we have 3 hours, we have 3 hours, and then it's and then it's done, and then it's not like, okay, we finish up next time, but we're really done. So it's always this sometimes it's this internal back and forth of like being there and seeing, but also I need to I still have a job to do, and then it's this jumping out again of this role, and then checking, okay, where are we in the schedule? What did we manage? What did we not manage? Adapting, or maybe we need a bit more time here. But maybe so. When I do a workshop, of course, I design the workshop beforehand. Like I have a conversation with the leadership or the people, whoever I get to talk to. And of course know the time frame, and then I design the session, and I like, okay, we do 10 minutes this, then we 30 minutes this exercise, and then, but this is more like a guideline.
Do you often change like
it never ends up being exactly that. Like I make a plan, and I think it's very much like it's very valuable to make the plan, because that the design, how having it mapped out in my head, like this is how I would like to do it. But then it's a lot of improvising, and barely any workshop goes exactly to the schedule that I mapped out in my brain beforehand. So that's.
Do you ever change like completely the schedule?
I haven't. Yeah, once. Once I changed the whole flow of that. It was a short session. It was a one hour just to develop some. Basically, I think it was a curriculum for a NGO school kind of thing, and I had an idea what we do with the volunteer teachers or volunteers, and the idea was to involve the volunteer teachers in the whole development, and well, I had an idea for the session how we go about that, but I don't know. Yeah, I think they didn't like that, or I kind of sensed that they didn't want to do what I wanted to do with them. So after the first kind of exercise, I really I ditched it all, and then really tried to just like moderate the discussion. And at that very moment, it felt much more valuable to just have a moderated, open discussion, not to go, not some much brainstorming or like sticky notes, and it was more. Yeah, and then I really dropped the plan and really tried to keep the discussion focused and moderate the discussion. And it was definitely not the best session I ever did, but yeah, so it happens sometimes that you really completely have to ditch your plan that you make beforehand. Well, in the end, what's important, how I see my work, what's important is not that we run through the session minute by minute and get everything done and tick the boxes. That's not what's important. Important is the outcome.
Yeah, because
and how do we feel creating this outcome? It's not about exactly following a process.
Yeah, and I guess there is no like a perfect process for everyone. No. Because it's always very individual.
It's very individual. It depends a lot on the team or on the person in coaching, and is also, of course, one makes like there isn't. I don't think there is the perfect session. Like I always afterwards, after each session, I say like, oh, I could have done this different, or maybe that would have worked better. So I think it's like when you're an artist, when you play music or something. I can relate to personally from my past. There isn't the perfect performance. There is always a little mistake here or there. It's something you could have done different or better, or interacted with people better. So I try to do the best I can, but yeah, it's different every time, and there isn't this perfect session. It doesn't exist. Maybe it will happen someday, but
maybe you agree.
You know.
Yeah, and how long does it take for research the team to prepare the workshop structure? Is it like more work before or during the session?
Depends. Again, I cannot answer every question with it depends, but it depends again on what it is that team or the organization wants and needs. If it's something very standard, straightforward, like you say, you want to do a retrospective session.
Okay.
So like you have, there are a lot of different templates and a lot of different. So then it's very quick to prepare it, because I know I have my exercises in that we can do with the team in my mind, and then okay, how much time do I have? Okay, let's start with this, then do that, and maybe if that doesn't work, then I already know like to improvise. I could use this or I could use that. So that's fairly quick.
Yeah.
On the other hand, there is more custom workshops, or when it's longer assignments. You want to have maybe the team wants to have a bit of strategy, a bit of team building, a bit of working on a concrete challenge they have. Then it's much more work going into it. And I would say it's kind of, at least half the time of the duration that the workshop is going to have is going into preparation. Sometimes it's the time put in preparation is equal to the time to the workshop. So a one-day workshop might need one-day preparation work, plus maybe some calls and talks with people to get so the whole preparation work that runs up to it, so to understand what it's about, what is really the need, what do they need, what do they want. So very different on what it is. I mean, the more custom the workshop is, the more custom it is what you need, the more preparation goes in it from my side. And there's a lot of standard workshops out there. There's a lot of good workshops out there that work very well from different areas. In the agile world, the design thinking world, a bit of this kind of Silicon Valley inspired startup world with design sprints and things like that. And that is good battle tested stuff. So that is things that I, of course, like carry like a toolbox, and I have them. I know those exercises. I know these approaches, the structures, and then if I like you relate your problem, and you relate your challenge, what you want to work on, what you want to solve, and then okay, this might fit, that might fit, that might fit. So it's a bit like Lego, like putting pieces, taking different pieces, putting them together to create the session.
Do you feel that you have to constantly learn like new tools, techniques or something?
I definitely have to constantly learn.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether it's new tools all the time. I mean, there's books that have just like hundreds of workshop exercises, and you can never know all of them or do all of them. So I try to have my go-to tools that I know work well, and that I know they usually work out, and people like them, and people can like it helps them to get the work done. And then of course I try to get inspiration from elsewhere. There's great YouTube channels about the topics, there is other facilitators, there's a lot of content online all over everywhere, social media, LinkedIn. So I try to get inspiration from there, and then, oh, this sounds nice, let's try this, and then maybe it fits, and I want to try it out. What is more learning actually is like I'm an engineer by training. I studied engineering. I don't have a psychology background or organizational psychology, behavioral patterns. So I'm investing a lot of time learning about people dynamics, and trying to understand that better, trying to understand different views, how different people are, why they are how they are, a bit leaning into neuroscience, which, there's a lot that's like research is figuring out now about why we do things the way we do them, or how we can change behaviors or patterns. So I don't have like educational background in that area, and that is where I feel like I still have a lot to learn. I mean, I dare say I have a good gut feeling for things, and a good understanding of like, I would say I have a certain way that I'm able to read people and understand people, but of course I also sometimes I'm completely wrong or completely off track, and I try to be open-minded, and I also try to learn about those things. But that's where it's constant learning, and every time I do a workshop, also I do coaching, it is of course something that, oh, that didn't work out. Why? What did I do? Did I do something wrong? What can I do different next time? What could be better? So it's also this continuous, always trying to reflect on what could be different, what could be better, what didn't work so well, what worked well. It's always kind of part of it.
And it sounds like a lot of learning, really. And how do you separate your time between your professional life and your personal life? Because, for example, you mentioned that like watch an educational video, but it's so easy to, in my opinion, it's so easy to fall down into constantly watching these professional videos, even if in your personal time, how to find these boundaries?
Let me know when you figured it out.
But how? Okay, how
no,
you
so
balance?
it's really difficult. Also, something I'm really still haven't figured out for myself yet is like I had a corporate job. I went to work in the morning, I came home in the evening, and then maybe I read a bit about something that I was interested in that was still related with professional life. Now it's different. Now I'm my own business, freelancing, so there is no boundary at all between private and professional life anymore. And it makes it really difficult sometimes, and also because you could always work more, you could always do more, and I really try to set boundaries, like to set for myself, like okay, now it's enough work today, or now I'm not doing that anymore, now I focus on this. Or also spend time with like this weekend, my wife and me, we just do something together. We don't, I don't open the computer, I don't try not to work. There's some activities helping me to do that, like sailing, being on the boat. But with the educational content, that's a rabbit hole. Like you can, click you watch one video, you watch the next video, you watch the next video, the next video. And I'm slowly learning to stop myself, and also like realize the past year that from just watching the things, nothing happens if you just consume content. But if you're not like trying to act on it, like if you're not
like
trying to apply the knowledge, like all the knowledge is not really valuable if you don't do anything with it. And I'm very prone to that. Like I'm very prone to learning all kinds of things, but then not necessarily doing something with it. And to a degree, becoming self-employed helped because it forces me to. Because if I don't do anything, no one does. Like if I don't learn, like if I only read about how to create content for LinkedIn, but I don't do it, it doesn't happen. If I just learn about new exercises or new tools for workshops, but I don't then apply them in my workshops, it doesn't help. So, and having to do it, because if I don't do it, it's not happening. And especially for the business, helps a bit to not get sucked too much in all these educational videos and all the cool stuff that is online.
Yeah,
but it's not easy. Definitely not.
And are you a perfectionist or no? How do you define yourself? Because I guess it's also like can be a popular pitfall where
something I'm definitely guilty of. So perfectionism, even though I actually don't think I'm a perfectionist. I usually want to make things, I just want them to work.
Yeah.
So more, in that sense, more of a good enough person with many solutions. However, I tend to, which closely related to perfectionism, I really tend to overthink things. Like, okay, if I do that, then this will happen. If I do that, this. If I do that, what these options say? Going a lot into scenario thinking in my head, and then blocking myself by going, because then I often end up in like a bit of a decision paralysis. Like, oh, I could do this and that would maybe lead to that, but I could also do this that would maybe lead to that, or I could do this and it would maybe lead to that, and eventually I end up doing nothing. So yeah, I'm not sure whether it's exactly perfectionism, but it's definitely overthinking things, and then sometimes trying to make it too perfect, yes, and sometimes also trying to like, not doing the thing perfect, more this question, what should I do? Should I do this, or should I do that, or that, or that, or that, or that? And then I end up doing nothing and procrastinating. So that is, I'm 100% guilty of that. Constant work and a constant struggle to get over it.
Yeah, I guess for all of us, we have some personality structures, and all this self-development, it's like a lifelong journey. It's impossible to just overcome everything 100%, I
No.
guess. And you mentioned like your hobby, sailing, and does it help you somehow with like maybe overthinking to switch off the thoughts, or how do you switch off basically overthinking? Because even when closing like the YouTube or the book or something, that it can still continue going in your mind. Which tools do you use to switch off?
I somehow have a tendency to fall in love with hobbies that require to be present in the moment. So back in Austria, I used to motorbike a lot on mountain roads, and well, on the motorbike, I think one part of me I liked it so much, why it helped me to relax, is you have to be in the moment. You're just doing this. You can't think about things in the background and you kill yourself.
Yeah.
Well, with sailing, it's not that drastic, but it's the same thing. When you're sailing, you are trying to feel the wind. You are feeling the motion of the boat. You have, like, especially with the small boat, the dinghy sailing. I'm not good at all. I didn't grow up sailing as a teenager. I started very late. But you have to feel the wind. You have the sheet, so the rope that controls the sail in one hand. You have the tiller, so for steering, in the other hand. And you just try to feel the boat. And the wind is, you're out in nature. The wind is never constant. The waves are not constant. The motion. So you really need to be. And I'm not racing. I'm just telling. I mean, I'm racing also in fun races with on bigger boats as part of the crew. But in general, you have to be very present. And also when you go in a crude racing, and I'm not the owner of the boat. I'm not not the skipper. I'm not the one who steers. But still, you need to be very, very present, and you need to be very focused on when you look. Okay, do we have better wind in this direction? Do we have better wind in that direction? What are the others doing? Are the other boats, are they going faster than us or slower? Are they having better wind there or not? So it's a lot of, and then you discuss it so I'm not in that setting. I'm not the one making the decision, but you still try to be present. And then when you do the maneuvers, when you move the boat around, you have to do the rope work. You need to be really focused, and everyone needs to do their job, their thing, and then see. And if anything, you need to see, like, can I help? Can I not? So I think it's something you need to be very present, and that this being present in something helps me to not think of all the other things in my life, because it requires that level of attention, level of presence. Then it's easy to forget or to not think of the other things.
How curious is that you mentioned that so basically the presence is very important for you. So it looks like, it sounds for me that it unites basically your job and your hobby. So because when we were speaking about your workshops, the key is to be present, and the hobbies you choose, it's also like the most important thing there is to be present. How curious is that it's even being so different, it's kind of the same in a way.
I never looked at it from that perspective, but yeah, you're completely right. It is something that probably is. Don't ask me where it comes from, but it's kind of important, very much important for me to be. Being in the moment. Like, there are people who are a lot concerned with the past, and then I've never been that. I've always been more concerned with the future. Like, that is people who worry a lot about what happens in the future. I've never been too much concerned with the past is the past. But I think that the best thing you can have is being right now in the present. And
because the life happening right now.
Life's happening right now. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, and what happened yesterday happened. Then you can reflect on it and try to was it good, was it bad? If it was bad, try to not end up in the same situation again. And life happens, right now and in present. And I think it makes me feel alive. Like, maybe that's it. I don't know. I've never thought about it that deep, honestly. But
You mean the feeling of being present makes you feel like?
Because since you kind of connected it like now as a theme in my professional life and in private life as well. It makes me. I think it makes me feel alive in a way.
Quick pause into the video. If you enjoyed this episode so far, I invite you to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. And also, if you would like to provide some extra support for me, which is absolutely not necessary, but if you would like, you can do so on the Coffee website, QR code on the screen and link down below in the description. Thank you. Let's get back to the video. And if go back to the business side a little bit maybe, so how would the team, the business owner or the team lead understand or that they need like some guidance, they need help, basically, how to understand?
It's a very tricky question, and if I would have the answer, I would make a lot of money. Because I think often talking about business, my main competitor is, the way I see it, is not other facilitators or other coaches, or it's kind of doing nothing. So it's not being, my main competitor is that people are just okay with how the situation is. They don't see a need to do something, or they are like, okay, it has always been like this. Could I just live with it? What can we do about it? So there's not awareness about the challenge, the problem. There's not awareness that there are solutions, or also that not being aware that, okay, we could really benefit from some help here. I would say that's the main thing that I'm competing with. Not so much, yes, of course, there are other facilitators, there are other people who do the same, but I think as a community and as facilitation is still not so super well established and understood. We're all kind of fighting against this unawareness of the challenge, and also unawareness that there is something one can do about it, rather than that we are competing with each other. How do you know that help would be good or that help would be needed? I think it's when discussions go in circles, this frustration, this old same old topic again. You go into your meeting already with the mindset of, it's going to be the same discussion again that we already had a week ago and 2 weeks ago and 2 months ago, and we're going to talk the same thing again. Or on the other hand, if it's like, we made all of course we made all the decisions and we agreed on it in the last meeting, and no one acts on it. Because no one acts on it because people don't believe in it, or people don't, just agree to not to be bugged. Sometimes one agrees to, especially in a business environment, you're just like sitting in a meeting and like, okay, I don't care, I'll do what I want anyway. So if the culture is not so, and in this kind of situations, I think that's where it can really make a difference. Or also when you're in a situation that, I had this once with a startup I worked with, like I was a head of tech and head of product. So one was more focusing on the technological part of it, and one more on marketing, sales, like getting it out to people. And they really all believed in what they were doing, and they really, really all wanted to make it work. Like there was not this that you have sometimes in corporate, like I don't care, I just go to my job to get paid. And it wasn't that situation. It was like they really cared about it, but they really could not align on focus. Like, is it more important that we build it properly, technically good, sound solution without any faults in it, or is it more important to get something out quickly and get feedback? And so a bit of kind of this different approach is more like this try, test, experiment approach versus we can't put something faulty out there approach. We need to do something good. The quality needs to be, both sides have a point and both sides are right. And the thing is to meet in the middle.
Yeah.
And if one is in that situation that they feel like, okay, we just can't agree on this, we just can't, we see each other, but we can't really get on with it because we don't understand, and then we're pulling in different directions. We are not going the same way. That's where I think like coming in as an external, also especially doing it as an external with an outside view, as a giving this neutral ground. Like I am not rooting for this or for that side. I give you so that is where it makes the most sense. And I think that's also where leaders who then have to, who I think good leaders, they understand that it's, even they have the many, especially in Scandinavia, I think many leaders have a lot of facilitation skills and act a bit more coach-like than it is like in Austria, Germany, what I'm used to. So it's a more coaching mentality, coaching facilitative leadership mentality, but still as a leader, you kind of have skin in the game. You kind of have an opinion. You have a preference where you want it to go. And then it's really hard to stay neutral. And then in this kind of senses, it just sometimes helps to have that neutral party there. I tried to facilitate when I was in official team lead in my old job. Yeah. And I tried to facilitate a session there, and it was, I didn't have the facilitation skills I have now, but I still knew a couple of things about it, but it was so hard because you cannot, like, if the team thinks even if I try to be neutral, even if I try to get inside of the team, even if I try that everyone can contribute, even if I try to put myself back and then say my opinion first because I first want to hear what the others say, because sometimes if the leader says something then people tend to agree to just you don't want to be the one saying no. But even if I try to hold myself back, there is still, there may be, people think still, but he has his agenda, but he has his direction to push. If I come in as an outsider, and I really always try to hold myself, like really don't give my opinion, even if, of course, if I listen to your challenge and to your company, of course I have an opinion what you should do. Or I could try to give you advice from my experience. Maybe it would be good, maybe it would be bad, but I really try not to do that because it's not my job. It's really having this neutral ground, having this person who keeps things as objective as we can as humans. It's never objective, but
I guess it's being neutral and being from somewhere from outside. It's also important part to build trust with the team, because if you are neutral, they can basically trust you. They can open up with their opinions to you, because if you're not neutral, if you're like, for example, taking one of the sides, then the other side, they cannot build a connection with you. And being the neutral person helps you to build the connection with different sides and helps them, as you said, like to understand each other, to find a shared solution.
I think it's one of the biggest benefits of getting an external facilitator, or at least a facilitator that's not a member of the team. So in many big corporates, they go in this direction. They have internal facilitators, but they are part of the company, but they are not part of the team. They're just doing that for different teams. That's kind of the job I used to do, and that's also at least to a degree neutral, because you're not at least a part of the team, but that getting that neutral person in, and that doesn't mean like I'm not it's not like being a referee in a soccer game, because it's not like I'm not saying, oh, you don't, I'm not judging people
Yeah,
for
because
what they...
there is no like certain rules, I guess.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, there are certain rules, like you should respect each other.
No,
and,
no,
like,
I mean
there are
certain
rules, of
rules.
course, but there is not like
The correct answer, the correct way, like
No,
to
exactly.
do the business or to work.
Look, there are, from my perspective, like if I ask a question in the room, or if I give make a brainstorming or brainwriting exercise on a specific question, there are no wrong answers for me.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, maybe some things are better than others, but there are no wrong answers, and especially I will never tell this is not the right thing to do. So that's not my job. That the team has to figure out themselves what is right for them. Yeah, it's very, very much about staying neutral and just guiding, showing possible ways. It's not about this way. It's like it's not like
not
go there. It's never that.
Yeah, I see. And before that, you mentioned that some people they just go for job to like basically have the salary, and they how to say, not interested, not maybe frustrated in a way. So why do you think it happens?
I mean, I think it has a lot to do with corporate culture eventually, or with the culture you have in a workplace. Sometimes, or for periods at a time, I probably was that person myself. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes. And I think it's when when you're frustrated with how things are going, when you feel like no matter what you do doesn't matter, you know. And then, I mean, I don't want to talk for other people, but for me personally, at least, I really need to know why I'm doing something. Like for me, it's very important to understand why I am doing this, and the why is a bigger why. It's not to increase our sales by 10% or to make this product. It's more like why do we as a company exist? What do we like? I think it's a bit that I think we all as human beings have that urge, that craving to be part of something bigger, to be contribute to something bigger. And I think when you don't have that, that's what causes this. What causes that you just go to work and with like, okay, I need my money in my bank account because I need to pay my rent and I need to buy food and whatever it is. I think that often comes from when you don't have the feeling that you're part of something, or when you cannot believe in what you are supposed to be part of.
And what would be your advice to the person who find, for example, themselves in this kind of feelings, in this kind of situation?
Very difficult. It's hard to give advice on that, and maybe my advice would be to ask myself some questions like, okay, where am I? Why am I where I am? How does it make me feel? Maybe that helps to understand, sometimes it's good to reflect on how did I end up here?
Yeah.
Why am I here? What am I doing? What was I supposed to? Sometimes we limit ourselves, so maybe reflect on, am I limiting myself in what I do? Like, is it like, am I playing this, like, am I using the potential of my position? If you have in a workplace, you have a certain position, there are things you need to do. Well, this is how it is. So am I just doing those things, or do I have a potential to influence what I'm doing or the way I'm doing? How do I show up every day? But sometimes it's also like, maybe then it's also realizing that, okay, I'm in the wrong place. like there is only so much one can do oneself, and of course one should also challenge oneself. Like, is it not just that the company is so bad, or my boss is an idiot, or it doesn't work? One should also challenge oneself. It's like, okay, what's my contribution to me feeling that way?
Yeah.
What's my contribution to just showing up, doing what I need to do, and not really caring? But when one has reflected on that, sometimes it's also the other factors, and then one need to also be honest to oneself whether one can make the next step, and one can face the consequences. Sometimes that means to leave that job.
Yeah.
But of course, that sometimes is also not that easy always. And we
Yeah,
are
of
embedded in
course.
an environment. We have
Yeah.
social responsibilities. We
Yeah.
maybe have to, I don't know, take care of kids, or be there for a partner, or take care of sick family members, elderly people who, we have responsibilities. And I think in this case it's good to reflect on, okay, what is actually my goal? Where do I want to be in life? How do I want my life to be?
Yeah.
As a whole, not only the professional part.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then in what sense is that professional part now contributing to where I want to be? And also, what's my freedom to move? Because sometimes the thing one has to do is to push through. Like, if at the moment the situation requires it, then maybe I find my joy elsewhere.
Yeah.
Can also be like, maybe not the ideal solution, but like the ideal solution is that I work for an employer that I resonate with, and that the culture fits me, and their values fit my values, and I really believe in what I'm doing. And that would be the ideal solution. But reality is like, not all of us have jobs like this. And then it's really about asking the questions: how can I show up? What can I do to make it more like this?
Yeah.
But also, can I change the place? Is it the right place for me? If not, do I have options to change?
Yeah.
And I think the most important thing is like to be open for whatever comes your way. Sometimes opportunities come from places where one wouldn't expect them.
Yeah.
But it's difficult to give like one piece of advice. I don't think there is this. Like, generally, I don't believe in absolutes.
But of course, there is no universal solution for everyone.
There's not just do this and then you have.
Of course.
Just do this and then your life will be better.
Yeah, but I guess it's a good
way.
piece of advice, like reflecting on your state. Why are you here? How do you feel? And coming up with a plan what to do next. Because maybe after this reflection, you can come to the point that, yes, maybe I'm not super fulfilled with my job, but I'm fulfilled with other parts of my life. And right now, for me, it's okay. And maybe it also already gives peace of mind in a way. Or maybe the person can come up with some actions, what to change. Because without, in my opinion, without this reflection, any change, it's not possible to change if you don't reflect and you don't analyze, don't understand what to do. Without awareness, without bringing awareness to the situation, it's not possible to change.
I think you summarized it very, very nicely now. I think the key word is reflection.
Yeah.
Reflect on your own situation and then see where that leads. And often things are not as bad as they seem, but if one is so in the situation, it's often hard to see. So talking to someone, you talk to friends, talk to people you like, talk to a stranger. I learn a lot of things by talking to not to strangers, but to people I meet for the first time. It's often the people they often tend to give me advice that someone who knows me better doesn't, because
they kind of outside of the
they are then the outsider for my life. They are the outsider for my situation. And then just having a conversation is not that is again about reflection. It's just having that conversation, and maybe they see things from a different angle, and can give something that, oh, I never thought about that.
And maybe also seeking for help.
Yeah.
For like a therapist or coach who can, if you struggle to reflect yourself, who can help you to hold the space, basically, for you to reflect, to find the way out of the challenging situation.
I think it's being able to ask for help is a big step. Is a big thing. And I think with also that going to a coach or therapist, I think it's very important to differentiate that a coach is not a therapist. Also really, I think also when working as a coach, I am a coach, I'm not a therapist, and I cannot go where therapists are going. I can only ask questions and make you reflect, and then you need to, but I cannot diagnose or give advice, or that's a different level, and I think a different use.
They don't give advice.
It's a different use case. I think it's a different case, but there's for sure some overlap.
I guess it is.
I think there is in that sense, there is a limit of what a coach can do, depending on who you are and what really you need, what holds you back. If that goes more into really things that are more suitable for therapy, because it comes from whether it's childhood trauma or some experiences you haven't gotten over. That I don't go that's not a situation where I would go to a coach.
Of course.
I go deeper. We just live, and I have the feeling I'm not satisfied with the situation I am in. I don't feel in balance with myself. I don't feel like I'm progressing the way I should. I want to get my life in order. I want to get better at this. So I want to make more of the potential, and then go to a coach. It's also, I think, very important it's very important for me, and I think it is important for all coaches who take their work seriously, that to make that distinction between coach and therapist. There's probably some black sheeps out there that think they can help with everything. I don't know. Well, I find it very important to make that distinction very clear.
So let's move to the tips now. Can you give maybe to our audience some tips on how to enjoy work a little bit more?
I think what's very important to enjoying close to anything, not only in work, also in private, is being curious. It's if and being open and curious about the situation, about people, about what's going on, about whatever it is you care more about. You care more about people, and be curious about people. You care more about things than be curious about that. But staying curious, I think there is something, when we're kids, we're all very, very curious about everything, and then somewhere along the way, that for many people it gets lost. And
I guess we at some point we start to be afraid of a failure or something like this.
And I think staying open-minded and curious, or trying to bring it back, and trying to find things, little things one finds interesting and one can go into. Maybe it's can be any aspect of the job, can be any about the company, or about how things you do, about your colleagues, about anything, about having that curiosity, that open mind to being open to learn. Because if you're open to learn, then there are so many things to pick up every day, and especially with now change being so fast and AI coming in, and all the content available everywhere, we all have this information overload, and also in our jobs and the things we do, maybe even if we've been doing something for 10 years this way, maybe we figure out a better way to do it. We figure out something else. I think it's something to keep oneself busy and engaged, and then keep that bit of joy in doing something like this. Kind of childish curiosity.
And how to create this curiosity, how to remind maybe yourself to be curious?
I think a difficult question. I think it is also a bit what you said before, is like allowing to fail, allowing to try something, allowing yourself to. I mean, I know many corporate cultures, there is not, unfortunately, not much room for failure. We still haven't gone to this, you need to fail to learn, and that's not everywhere in the culture, and it's not always so easy.
Yeah.
It's also not so easy sometimes to admit failure, or we try everything to prevent failing.
Sometimes I guess we even can say that I'm okay to fail, but inside we still have you describe this tightness or something.
It's also something that I am struggling with every day, because I didn't necessarily grew up failing a lot. I was good at school, good at most things I did, and good at university, halfway good at my job, and then now starting a business, I can only learn through failure. I can only I need to put myself out there, do something, and then see that it works. And getting that into mind, it's a daily struggle. So I think also something is that maybe a tip or an advice, it's important to understand that it's not always easy. So trying to be curious, trying to do something new, trying to learn something, trying to change, trying to be different, trying to show up different.
It's constant.
It's difficult. It's a struggle. It's like every day in the morning you have to, okay, I want to show up motivated. I want to learn this today. I want to. It doesn't come. Like, it's not easy. It's not, and it's a struggle, and it's, I think, and it's a struggle, like for all of us. People, you're not alone with the struggle. Everyone struggles with something,
really,
and I think that is something. This realizing that we're not alone in a struggle. Even if we want to really try something, or change the way we are, or change the way we approach something, the attitude, the mindset. That doesn't happen like this. It's like it's a daily effort. It's a daily struggle, but like. One is not it's like this for everyone. For some people it may become easier, some people don't show it openly, but it's a struggle, and that is like acknowledging that it's not easy to oneself, being okay with it. And also being okay with that there are bad days, and there are days where one cannot motivate oneself. But I think it's more this, falling and getting up, and it's what's important is the getting up. It's not the falling. If I feel grumpy and annoyed today, and then maybe I am grumpy and annoyed, and I don't enjoy my work at all, and then I'm just okay, that is today, and tomorrow is a new day, and tomorrow I'm try again, and I'm not gonna hold a grudge against me that okay, yesterday wasn't my best day. Okay, it wasn't my best day. Today is a new day. I go for it again. And I think this, like allowing oneself to struggle sometimes. We all do. And
I guess it's important to recognize it, really, like to create this inner attitude of allowing yourself to struggle, and remembering that others are also struggling. Even if everyone struggles in his own way, or still everyone do it.
I was in a workshop today in the morning, attending, not facilitating, and I showed it was about climate change, and I showed a little video at the end, and it was about basically the theme was I do what I can. So no matter how small it is, no matter how little, I do what I can. And I think that's like it stuck with me, and it's a very good way to think about it. Not everyone can give the same. Not everyone can some people can push themselves really, really hard. Some people can't do that much, and some people they can work. Some people can work 15 hours a day and they're still good, and some people cannot. And some people, it's just, we're all different. I think it's just like I do and I give what I can. Also to get that sense of this, not just comparing to, you know,
Yeah.
the shiny influencers or
Yeah.
the stars or the top performers at work,
Yeah.
and like, I give what I can,
Yeah.
and you arrive at this kind of self. How do you say it? Self.
Worse? Or
Yeah, worth is, I think, good to value that I give what I can, and
yeah.
that, and I know that I'm doing this, and I feel like at least have a self confidence, a self esteem with that. So to make one down because maybe someone else can do more,
Yeah.
but it is very difficult also to do that. But
Yeah, of course.
I think it's
but
the point.
It's
The point
a
is like,
journey,
again,
like
it's a
lifelong
journey.
journey. I would
It's not
say.
easy, and
Yeah.
it's yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And I guess now, like the final line, considering everything what we discussed like during this conversation, what would, and if as a person watching or listening can take just one outcome from the whole discussion, what would it be? Just
One outcome, I think it's what we said in the ending: stay curious and allow yourself to struggle. I think that's of all we discussed, and be present, like
yeah,
in the moment. Life happens in the moment, and we all too often forget that. There's a lot of beautiful things everywhere, even though the world is difficult right now, and that's a nice way of putting it. There's still a lot of beautiful things, small things mainly. Try to see them. Yeah.
yeah, beautiful said.
Yeah, it's, I don't know, what makes it all, it's the small things that makes it all worth it. At least for me. It's not the big things, it's the small everyday things that make it worth living, in a way. Yeah.
Thank you very much for watching this episode till the very end. And if you like this video, I invite you to subscribe to my channel to get notified when I post more content. Or if you want to support my channel, you can do so on the Coffee website. You can see QR code on the screen right now, or you can find the link to my Coffee page in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching this episode, and see you in the next one. Bye!